It is on. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, here for another Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I am coming to you live from the beautiful country of Canada. I am here in Crescent Beach, and we are at the Studio of Love of Every Kind, and I am sitting with the owner of the studio. Nicole, would you like to introduce yourself to the...
Hi. I'm Nicole Newman. Very nice to be on your show, Marc. Thanks very much.
So this morning we're going to be talking about spiritual dancing, the intelligence of the spirit world. We've done a whole weekend of doing mediumship, working with energy. So as you guys are just checking in, coming aboard, hanging out with me when I'm on the road, I don't get a lot of opportunities to have the music, but I do always have my coffee. So grab your coffee, grab your tea. Let's do a little spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual gold. Cheers.
Cheers.
And this morning, I'll be giving you your inspirational message, talking about the energy of the spirit world, working with the spirit world, dancing with the spirit world. That's today's message. So good morning to all of my prospectors out there. So let me just say good morning to you guys. Jeanette, good morning. Christine, good morning. Odith, Tara, good morning. April, some of the top fans. So good morning, Tamara, Michelle, good morning. Hey, so if you guys do me a big favor, because I'm only working on my mobile phone right now, so I don't have the ability to share out. So if you'd be so kind to share out, hi Christina, please do so to a page, somebody that you want to maybe invite in that may benefit from today's inspirational message. And if you do that, for those that share out the page or subscribe to my YouTube channel, which the description, the link is in this description field if you want to go over to my YouTube channel. This will be premiering over on my YouTube channel, and then stick around at 8:30 because we'll be doing the prospecting Q&A after show where I have a direct conversation with you, spiritual readings, spiritual chats, spiritual community. It's a lot of fun, especially on a Monday morning when you're trying to get the sleep out of your eye and you're trying to wake up. I'm a little bit tired because I've been working all weekend, but we've had a lot of fun dancing with spirit. So I'm going to just turn this over to Nicole real quick. I'm going to have her just talk about her studio. I'm going to have her talk about the inspiration and the reason why she has this studio here in the beautiful Crescent Beach. It's right next to the ocean, just past the border. So if you're familiar with Canada and Surrey, Not Surrey. Surrey. Not Surrey.
Surrey will help you find
Surrey. It's right across the border, and it's how far would you say it's from Vancouver?
30 miles.
30 miles from Vancouver.
Yep.
So a lot of energy. The studio's been here for a while, so it's built up a lot of energy, and a lot of amazing people have come in and been a part of this. And so I'm going to turn it over to Nicole to share her story about why she created this studio, and then we'll come back for an inspirational message and give you your totem animal spirit and your number for the week and your crystal. So let me just turn it over to Nicole.
Thank you. Hello.
Yep, come on in here.
Scoot in here. Here we go. All right. Well, this studio has been here for many years, being a metaphysical mediumship studio with Shanley Gibson in the past. And I learned here and went through a lot of my healing of my grief at this studio and with other teachers from around the world. I got into mediumship in 2014 after the passing of one of my sons, and I decided to explore the world of mediumship because I found it so healing. Having mediums help me connect to my son after his passing was the biggest blessing I could have had. It was the most healing experience I had, and I needed to pursue that, so I did. Through learning at Arthur Findlay College, through learning throughout the USA, all kinds of different teachers, including in this studio. So when the studio came available this past fall, it just seemed like the right thing to do, and it has been, to take it on and to run it as a spiritual community center so other people could have healing also. So we have mediums work here. I work here as a medium. We have people like Marc come and demonstrate and give courses and workshops, that kind of thing. And tutors from around the world will be coming here and sharing their knowledge and sharing their healing. So that's been my experience, and it just seemed like this is a great place to do it because we're right in front of the ocean. It's a wonderful place to hang out, and I just really felt like it's important to share the world of healing that can happen through mediumship after a loss. So other than that, we do other things here, like soul development, spiritual development. We've got sound baths going on, yoga, a lot of different health type things like Reiki and different kind of health and healing courses and experiences. So that's what we're doing. So it's really great. It's been super awesome, fun weekend to have Marc here.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been great. So hope to see you guys here at some point someday.
Yeah, so check out Love of Every Kind, and do you have a card that we could show, the logo, and a website so people can come visit? So again, if you find yourself in Canada, just north of the border, I'm north of Seattle, Washington. Been up here since Friday and did a Friday night demonstration, did a Saturday workshop called Nice Aura, which is working with the human energy field, working with your auric field, working with colors. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think people really enjoyed it. And then last night we did how to work on the platform, how to work with mediumship, and the mechanics of working on a platform in front of an audience. So just a lot of fun, a lot of love, a lot of healing. And so yeah, so if you show everybody the card here, that's kind of the logo. I think it's a pretty cool logo. It's kind of inspirational, and you can see the website there, which it's backwards on the camera, so you have to read it out loud. Yeah, you'll have to.
It's info@loveofaverykind.com. And it's Avery, Avery, not Every, because my son's name is Avery.
Yep. So check it out, and like I said, lots of different things going on, from meditation, intuitive readings, soul-to-soul readings, grief counseling, something that I went through when I had lost my brothers, healing, mediumship, spiritual wellness, consciousness, exploration classes, and events. And that's what we've been doing all weekend, spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual goal. So if you're just joining us for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, that means that I need more coffee. Go ahead and just give us a like, give us a heart. You can hear us okay. The sound quality is good. And if you're just joining me for the first time, if you found your way to this platform, welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for prospecting and hanging out this morning, drinking some coffee, drinking some tea. And at 8:30 here, so in a few minutes, we'll switch over to the Prospecting Q&A after show, where we'll have spiritual chats and free readings. But please like, share, subscribe, share out to a few pages. We've got about 17 beautiful people watching this morning, so let me just see who else is hanging out. Good morning, Amy. Amy's saying to you, Nicole, good morning, Lucy. She's saying, oh, I'm so sorry for the passing of your son. Good morning, Kimberly, another top fan. Rosie, good morning from Stanwood. Got a bunch of people hanging out. Good morning, Nikki. Good morning, Dave from Dublin. So good morning, Amy. Good morning, Jenny. Jenny, so good to see you at the event on Friday. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know that you had a front row seat, and I know that we had a lot of fun, a lot of readings. So this morning, hi, Misty, Christina. So thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hi to both of you from Donna. Hi, Donna. Martha, good morning. Alicia, good morning. So we're just saying good morning to some of my top fans. If you want to interact with us and get your top fan badge, I've got about 100 top fans now. If you want to get the top fan badge, just interact, post a comment, or share out. That's how you actually, and when you interact with the page, it's kind of a nice interaction to get your top fan badge, and say hi to somebody if you know somebody. So at 8:30 we'll be back here for the Prospecting Q&A after show. But today's message, want to get into the inspirational message for the week and set the tone for the week, is dancing with the spirit world and the healing and the love that came through this weekend. I'm always honored, humbled to be able to connect to people, complete strangers in the spirit world and complete strangers in the physical world, and bring through message of love, bring through evidence that life does go on after death, that death is not the end of the road. Death is just actually the beginning of a complete new journey. So, and I know for, Nicole, when Avery passed, that really kind of changed for you, right? That was the paradigm shift that really just, for me, it was my brothers, the same thing. We both weren't necessarily into mediumship, and you probably didn't foresee doing a studio, in the future. And just like I didn't foresee myself traveling up here to stand in front of people and do mediumship. But, that's the shakening causes the awakening. And when you get past that grieving stage and you really start to understand that death is just the beginning, not the end, everything changes for you. Your philosophy, your belief systems, your thoughts about how you look at things that you can't see but you can feel. And so I like to call it dancing with the spirit world, and that's what we did this week. We did a lot of this weekend. We did a lot of dancing with the spirit world through the power of demonstration of life after death, through the power of mediumship, a workshop that focused in on energy, frequency, and vibration, and working with your own energy and understanding how to manage your energy. And then last night we did a fun practical just on standing in front of the stage without any script, without any plan, and be able to draw close and allow those that are very much alive still communicate with us without the power of the vocal cords, but more with the power of thought. So I know that you've connected with your son several times, and he came through a few times this weekend.
He has.
What would you say is most empowering for you when you get that message, or like last night you had a message from your great grandfather, and the expectations of you never know who's going to show up. It's like a box of chocolates, right? You just don't know what you have your expectations of who you want to come through, but then when it actually happens, it's usually somebody that you didn't even expect.
This is true. This often happens. I think for me, it's hearing the healing words is always great, but feeling the essence of spirit, which we often do in a mediumship environment, you can actually feel them close to you and have that heartwarming comfort and that reunion back with them. It just reminds you of who you are and who your ancestors are, who your people are, and that they're still with you, loving you, and taking care of you. My son has been unbelievable at learning the communication of mediumship. As I went on this journey, I just poured myself into it because I knew I could do it, because I knew I had to, and he was there every step of the way, following me, learning how to communicate, becoming a better communicator. And throughout the journey, everybody's always said, "Wow, your son is an unbelievable communicator." And I'm like, "That's because we've been practicing. We've been doing this for such a while." And Lucy and I held a course this Sunday, this weekend, and we had the people in the course.
And you keep talking. I'm gonna go shut the door because we've got a little drilling going on.
I know. There's construction everywhere. There's signs of progress in this town. Anyways, we just did exercises where people connected with their own loved ones, which is such a great experience. And in my early stages of learning mediumship, I think that was one of the most powerful things for me. I actually naturally gravitated towards it before I even started taking classes. Shortly after he passed, I just started reaching for the spirit world. I'd go into my room and reach out into the spirit world until I could have some kind of a communion with him, feel his presence, feel his essence. And I was quite aware that it was actually happening. So I decided to pursue understanding it, and here I am. It's a beautiful thing. So I can't imagine going through the loss of a child or a close loved one without mediumship. It's just way too hard.
And then you started that spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual goal and have that connection with Avery. And same thing for my brothers. I got into mediumship because I wanted to connect with the loss of my brother. So this morning we're just talking about dancing with the spirit world and being open. Eckhart Tolle reminds us that awareness is the greatest agent for change. And when you're open to it, if you've lost a loved person, we go see mediums to connect and to have that healing and to get those messages that they're still, seeing what we're doing of our world in the present tense and things that may be coming up in the future. Also, things from the past. And I personally believe, because I didn't get into mediumship until about the age of 27 through great trauma and tragedy. But for those of you that don't think you have that gift, I would challenge you to move in and ask the spirit world, which is a very intelligent, loving, healing place, to allow them to connect in your own way, whatever's right for you, because I do believe that there is a medium in everybody, and that the spirit world is not going to limit who they can connect with and who they can bring messages through. You just may not want to do the work standing up on a stage and doing a platform, which is completely understandable. But just if you're in your own journey, if you are wanting to connect with a loved one, I always remind people, just take the time to disconnect from all of the chaos, the social media, the 24-hour news cycle, and just take the time to disconnect so that you have the time to reconnect. And when you move into that place of stillness and silence, the spirit world will draw close to you, and you may get an impression in your mind, which we call clairvoyance. You may get a feeling of just warmth or spider webs or a hand going over your skin, which we call clairsentience. It's using your different senses in a new form of communication to understand and connect with the unseen world, the world of spirit. So he didn't know I was going to do this, but Todd, come on over here. Bring the coffee, because this is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, and we got to have some coffee. So I'm going to have Nicole introduce this young gentleman. Okay. So come stand right here. He did it. He helped me a lot this weekend, so thank you, Todd, for helping me. You're live with Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, being broadcast all around the world, no pressure. And Nicole, tell us a little bit about this guy.
This is the love of my life, Todd Seward. And we met after the passing of my son. My life had changed quite a bit, and through a mediumship workshop, I met a wonderful girl, our mutual friend, Krista, And her husband introduced me to Todd, and the rest has been history. But it's always been a wonderful. It's such a great relationship, but also we really feel that my son helped guide me towards Todd and brought us together in a lot of ways. So it's been a really powerful and wonderful union and a great gift from Spirit. After the passing of him, I was alone for some time for a number of other reasons, and to come across my soulmate Todd was just an experience I hadn't really realized would come from the loss of my son. And it's always just so inspiring how they can affect our lives, guide our lives, lead us in little ways, let us follow down the yellow brick road there with the breadcrumb trail and find our ways. So it's a great experience. And and now I've totally sucked Todd into learning mediumship also.
So with that, Todd, what do you feel about mediumship just from this weekend and just kind of working, watching, observing? What's your take on mediumship?
Well, I've had my ups and downs with mediumship. It's been an interesting and exciting roller coaster ride to some degree. Mm-hmm. But I have learned so much about myself and so much about Spirit that I wouldn't trade it back now.
There you go.
And this weekend was fantastic with Marc. We had a beautiful experience and a brave experience. Platform mediumship, woohoo!
Yeah.
You're here.
It was exciting. It was fun, and his instruction really was clear and so helpful. So my experience this weekend was fantastic. It was wonderful.
Good. And for everybody watching, that's just to have the perspective from somebody that's just getting into mediumship, two people that have been in mediumship for a long time. There is ups and downs to all this, but if you stay the course and you draw close to the spirit world and dance with the spirit world, that's today's message. Mm-hmm. Dancing with the spirit world, they'll start to send you signs, symbols, synergy, synchronistic events of how they are trying to connect with you and show you messages. This weekend I had 3 dimes, both Canadian and U.S., because I find dimes from my brothers to let me know that they're just a dime away, that they're always with me on the journey. And a lot of us that have had that shaking that's caused awakening, whether it's through great loss, an out-of-body experience, a near-death experience, it really does change the way that you look at your life and how you start moving forward differently. So I want to thank you, Nicole.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Todd.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays as we do a little more spiritual prospecting for spiritual gold. Again, we're here in Surrey, Canada, Crescent Beach. Yeah?
Yes, Crescent Beach.
Crescent Beach. And we're here at Love of Avery Kind, talking about dancing with the spirit world. So with that, again, please share out, like, subscribe. This will be premiering over on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't got on my YouTube channel, which is called Soul Adventures, make sure to get on there. There's over, 250 videos. It has diving, hiking, 4 seasons of Inspired Living Radio, a couple seasons of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, just talking about and educating and teaching on connecting to the spirit world, psychic sciences, mediumship, healing, metaphysics. We've had, this weekend, Todd and I've had excellent conversations just talking about metaphysics and multidimensional and vibration and energy, and just had a really, really good time. So I want to thank them both for deciding to come on video with me this morning and hang out with Metaphysical Mocha and drink some coffee and just talk about dancing with the spirit world. So with that, if you guys are still hanging out with us, let us know you still got a pulse and you're still having fun. Life is short, question everything. So give us some likes or give us some hearts, because here in about 10 minutes, we're going to start setting the intention for the Prospecting Q&A after show, where I'll come back at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for your reading, for your inspiration for the week. So if you have a question that you want to ask of me, go ahead and get your question ready. Set your intention, because energy always follows intention. Intention is very powerful. Manifesting, visualization, very powerful stuff. And we'll be coming back at 8:30 for that. So with that, I'd like to give a totem animal spirit, and I'm actually going to, Nicole and Todd didn't know I was going to do this because I love to improv, and they're thinking, oh great, what's Marc going to do now? I'm going to ask them to give me your favorite totem animal spirit when you connect to your son. What's something that reminds you of your son from an animal in the animal kingdom world?
A bear.
And why a bear?
Well, because we lived in the mountains of Whistler, for a lot of his life. And we have a lot of bears in Whistler, and he had some pretty powerful experiences with bears himself out on trails. He actually was charged by a bear at one point, and it was something that he talked about a lot, and he had a pretty good awareness of bears, so it was a big deal for him.
So when you see a bear
Yep.
in your physical reality, or a bear charges you, or you see a bear on the hiking trail, or you see a bear in a magazine, or you see a bear in a movie, what does that connection do for you? How does the spirit world dance with you when you see that bear to let you know that your son is close to you?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be true to say that I look at a bear and I think my son's there all the time. I just know my son is available and close to me all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess it would trigger, a memory of experiences that I had with him. However, he's there all the time. Mm-hmm. He's available anytime that I'm able to reach my consciousness close enough to the spirit world that I can sense it. So the work is mine.
Yep. And it's just a reminder that the spirit world, for you guys watching, the spirit world is only ever thought away. And all you have to do is think, set your intention to think, to make that connection, and they'll find a way to make that connection. So the bear is going to be your totem animal spirit for this week. So the bear is also in its strength. It can represent being nurtured, maybe taking some rest. A bear likes to hibernate, so that could also be a reminder this week to maybe take a little bit of hibernation for yourself. If you feel like you've been going, maybe be like the bear and take some hibernation and take the time to disconnect, so you have the time to reconnect to the things that are important in your life. So with that, Todd, what's one crystal that really is a favorite crystal for you?
Well, I'm not big on the names of the crystals.
Okay.
Although I have experienced, different things and interacting with them, I don't know their names. So
if you were to describe a crystal, what would the crystal look like? What color would it be?
Clear.
So more of the clear quartz crystal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it would be the quartz crystal.
Okay, so you're really drawn to clear.
Perfect, unblemished.
Unblemished?
Crystal.
Diamond would be a crystal, yeah?
Yeah.
Diamond would be a crystal, right?
Yeah,
Have a sense?
I'm not big into diamonds, but the crystal, the quartz, let's stick with that.
Okay.
Has been a good experience.
Okay.
For me.
What is that experience for you when you hold a crystal quartz in your hand, the clear? What does that help you with?
Well, it's just a slight shift within my own energy that I noticed in holding it.
Seems to amplify everything.
Yeah,
okay.
I'd say an amplification.
Almost like plugging a guitar into an amplifier, right? And to get that kind of that crystal quartz thing as well. Okay, awesome. So like I said, you guys, they didn't know I was going to put them on the spot here live on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. But if you work with me, I always remind people, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And what I'm having them do is just describe their own personal journey in prospecting with the unseen world and their own connections to the spirit world and dancing with the spirit world. That's what we're talking about today. Inspirational messages, dancing with the spirit world. And everybody has their own way of connecting. And if the bear comes into Nicole's reality, that's just, a reminder that her son might just be getting her attention just to say hello. Maybe, mom's having a bad day and they pop in just to say, everything's going to be okay. This too shall pass. And for Todd, the quartz crystal, just holding the quartz. Sometimes our own energy gets low, right? Kind of what we worked in the workshop yesterday. Nice aura. How to work with your energy, or you just feel like you're depleted. You feel like you just don't have a lot of energy. Work in meditation. Work with crystals. Work with sound vibration. I went to a sound bath on Saturday, and it was absolutely amazing. If you've never been to a sound bath, I highly recommend it. It's different singing bowls and gongs, and the one gentleman had some sort of like rolling drum that sounded like the ocean was like really right on top of you, like these waves were crashing. So use sound as a way to have a healing modality. Mediumship is a healing modality. Meditation, mindfulness, all of this, crystals, totem animal spirits. And with that, I want to give you your numerology number for the week. And just like everything in life, the number is 14. It's about being in moderation. and the number 4 is about focusing on what you want, and the 1 is about independence, and together that adds up to a number 5. And the 5 is a reminder to be a freedom-loving adventurer, to get out and take some time to do some fun stuff this week. As we approach summer, it is June now, I guess. So I came up here in May, and now it's June, so I feel like I've been up here for a month. Take some time to disconnect so that you have the time to reconnect, and do it in moderation. And with that, the bear is your totem animal spirit. The crystal quartz is your crystal for this week. And the numerology number for you is number 14. Pay attention to doing things in moderation in everything that you do. And most importantly, have fun. Life is short. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, because you don't know what the day is going to bring. And so, the whole saying of carpe diem, right? Live for today, because that's the most important thing to do, is live for today. So we're just going to sign off. I'll be back here in just a few minutes for the prospecting Q&A after show. So get your questions ready. I'm going to only be on the air for about 30 minutes or so, answering your questions. Say hello to everybody in the spiritual community. We'll continue to drink our coffee and have a conversation. Maybe even do a little bit of mediumship. I just never know what is going to happen when we get into the prospecting Q&A after show. But I want to thank both Nicole and Todd. They let me stay at their beautiful house while I worked here this weekend doing mediumship, workshop, working with people and watching the intelligence and the healing and the love of the spirit world really work through people. And that's so powerful. And I just want to thank you both for having me on and being a part of this journey. So until our next soul adventure together, have a great week, everybody. Be kind, be caring, be compassionate. We'll be back here next Monday. Well, I'll be back here, unless you guys want to come down to the States and do this again. I'll be back here next Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another Metaphysical Mocha Monday. And you can catch me Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern for Inspired Living Radio. I'm not going to tell you who the guest is, but it's a pretty cool topic. So if you want to check that out, just go to marklainhart.com, internet search The Intuitive Prospector. And one more time, Nicole, how can people, if they're here in Surrey, Crescent Beach, Canada, how can they find you if they're close to Vancouver?
We are right down on Crescent Beach. It's a very small little village on the beach just outside of White Rock. And the website is info@loveofaverykind.com. So that's Avery Kind.
Avery Kind.
Avery.
All right.
And you can search us on Google.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great week. And until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. Namaste. Take care.